Everybody ready? Welcome to tonight's webinar. We are going to be talking about paradise within reach because it is within reach. We're going to be discovering all about Palmeras in the Dominican Republic, and we're going to be showing you how you can buy, build, or invest, and that affordable Caribbean living is actually possible. All right, Steve. Hi, Steve from Windsor, my hometown. How's it going? All right, wonderful. So let's get into it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Bordeaux. I am a realtor here in the Dominican Republic. I'm originally from Canada. Once upon a time, I'm from Windsor, Ontario, as you just heard. And I moved here at the ripe old age of 25 years old back in 1999. At that point, I was a massage therapist. I was a registered massage therapist in Ontario, and I opened and started my own solo practice, which I ran for 11 years. And then I had the opportunity to open a spa, which this December 17th will celebrate 15 years of being in business. And we're excited about that. I also am the coordinator of an incredible event called the Cabarete Butterfly Effect that celebrates the empowerment and leadership of girls and women through water sports. And we've been doing that now going on 18 years. And in 2003, I purchased my first home, and at the ripe old age of 29, which was the best thing that I have ever done. I did live in it and sell it, and I'm now in my second home here. So I'm not just a realtor, I'm also a homeowner who's actually gone through the process herself. And in 2021, I was blessed to join this team here at Realtor DR, which brings me and you together. All right. So we are going to go. Leoris, unfortunately, has run into some technical difficulties. However, I am still going to introduce him as he may be able to join us at some point this evening. Leoris Jimenez is got 15 years of experience, okay, leading teams across various industries. He is the CEO of Inversiones Gold Century and of Constructora Line. So since 2021, when I joined here, he opened his own company. Before that, he'd been an independent engineer from 2009 to 2011, and he was the director of many projects back over at Millennium, where my spot is, from 2009 to 2011 when the bulk of the resort was built. So Leoris and I have known each other for a very, very long time. He was working as an engineer for another construction company for quite some time. And that is how we met. And so we've known each other. I've known his work. And so our paths crossed when he started his own company. I became a realtor. Here we are. Leoris loves to focus on efficient resource management, strategic planning, and innovation. And if I can share a little bit from my own heart about Leoris, Leoris is a human being with vision. He's a human being with vision and heart, and he is dedicated to the community that he lives in. And he is dedicated to the projects that he brings to the table, which is why it was so easy for me to partner with him. Now, moving on to our next special guest over here, and there's a wonderful connection with them as well. So we have Roy and Giselle. They were born in New York to Dominican parents. So we have our wonderful Dominican American connection here. They built rewarding careers as technology consultants. They were drawn to their Dominican heritage, and they fell in love with Cabarete Puerto Plata via Leoris. And they just decided that it was time to take a leap. And they wanted to invest in real estate. They wanted to focus on creating quality townhouses that blend comfort and style. And they're not only part of one of the developments that we're going to talk about tonight, but they're also planning to make Cabarete, for now, their part-time home, and then eventually maybe their full-time home. So I'm excited to introduce you to them. And first of all, we are going to get started. So for all of you guys, if you're dropping questions in the chat before we get started, go ahead. Okay. Some of my colleagues are in here in the chat and they might be able to answer as we go, but we are going to have an epic Q&A at the end of this session. And I'm going to move fairly quickly through most of this stuff so we can get to that part. So just so you know, if I'm not getting to any questions you're dropping right now, I'm going to get to them later. There's also a Q&A area, so feel free to jump in there as well. Okay, moving on. So this is the part where I like to do a little Hogwarts Harry Potter. we are going to put on a little sorting hat, make sure you're in the right place. I know from calling some of you as you registered, some of you knew exactly what you signed up for and some of you weren't exactly sure. So we'll make sure that you know you're in the right place because I don't want you to waste your time. And I'm hoping that this will also get you excited. So this is for you if you've been dreaming of your own property in the Dominican Republic, but you don't know where to start. This is for you if you want to understand the process of buying real estate as a foreigner that ensures that it's a safe investment. Okay, I'm going to answer a lot of those questions for you that's going to help put a lot of things at ease. This is also for you if you're looking for a high potential investment opportunity in one of the Caribbean's most sought after locations, Cabarete, Dominican Republic, here on the North Coast. And this is also for you if you want insider access to exclusive finished and construction projects at competitive prices. We have some amazing things for you tonight that are currently, you are going to get to see them first and you are going to get access to them first. So keep your eyes open for that. And this is also for you if you've got questions about investing in Cabarete and if you want expert insights before making a decision. Okay, so hopefully that's cleared some stuff up for everybody and you know that you're in the right place. So yes, we are in the Dominican Republic. And again, I know some of you are not super familiar with the DR, but you know it's in the Caribbean, which is what made it exciting for you. So the Dominican Republic, it's an amazing island. It's an amazing country on the island of Hispaniola. So we share the island with Haiti. We are the eastern 2/3 and Haiti has the western 1/3 of the island of Hispaniola. Dominicans have an incredibly wonderful, vibrant culture. They're happy to share it with you. And I think we rank up in the top 5 of like world's most happiest countries, I think, every year. Warm weather year round. I'm Canadian. I don't miss winter. Maybe you would like to come and join me on that new lifestyle shift. You get more for less here. Compared to other Caribbean islands, the Dominican Republic is incredibly affordable. Okay, the things that you are going to be seeing today, you could not get at these prices if, say, you were on, St. Bart's or St. Thomas or one of the other Caribbean islands. It would be triple, 4 times the price. We have a beautiful, diverse international community here. So Dominicans are wonderful, but there's many people like myself who've made the Dominican Republic home. And there's this in Cabarete especially. There's a wonderful melting pot here. And it can help you bridge that gap between coming from a foreign country and integrating into the Dominican Republic. We have the fastest growing economy in Latin America. We have the largest growing tourism numbers year on year, I think for the last 3 years in a row. And Cabarete itself, that we're going to be talking about more specifically, is the water sport capital of the Caribbean. So we've got windsurfing, kite surfing, surfing, wing foiling. It's amazing. We also have more affordable healthcare here. I know for some of you, you have some healthcare issues looming over your head. Healthcare is a lot more affordable here. So that could be a reason that maybe gets you to move into a little bit more urgency about maybe choosing somewhere else to call home. All right. And for those of you with kids, we've got amazing international schools. I've got 2 daughters and I couldn't be happier with their education. And there's several different like school educational philosophies to choose from. So that's a little bit about the DR. Now, as we get into the sort of, main course of the webinar, shall we say, this is your first stop. For most of you coming in here, this is where you get to start. This team of people that you see right here in front of you, these are my teammates, this is our company, and these are some of the most incredibly dedicated human beings that I know. They want for all of you to find that dream. They want to make sure that your process and that your experience is easy, safe, that you feel heard. Okay. Are we back?
You're back. Welcome back, Michelle.
There we go. Hi, I'm back. Apologies there. Occasionally, sometimes internet's usually pretty good, but every now and again it does pop out. So Roy and Giselle, thank you guys for holding down the fort as we came back on. Let me get back to where we were. All right, wonderful. Here we are. Okay. So let's get into why we want to choose Cabarete. So that's where we left off. We know why we want to choose the DR, but in specifics, let's talk about Cabarete. Again, we've got that super cool mix of an active lifestyle and also laid back. We host a growing number of snowbirds in the wintertime, but we're always mixed in with our surf culture. And we've got a lot of beautiful restaurants and bars that are all along the beach. I fell in love with Cabarete when I was 25 and I came here on vacation. I remember sitting at a restaurant with my toes in the sand and looking up at the palm trees and looked over my shoulder at the ocean, and that was it. I knew I was hooked right there in that moment. So that's something special about Cabarete that you don't always get in other places. So here's some of our top reasons that you're going to consider Cabarete as an option for you, because maybe you didn't know about Cabarete. Maybe you've heard of the Dominican Republic before and you were like, oh, Punta Cana. This is not Punta Cana. We are up here on the North Coast. We are original and we are diverse, and it's wonderful. So we've got a strong multi-high season. What do I mean by that? So a lot of tourist places just have, they've got December through April. They got the winter, not us. So because of our wonderful wind sports and our surf culture, so right now we're coming into wave high season. So we start to get beautiful swells here in the fall. We have an amazing surf competition coming up this weekend. And so we get tourists that are coming in for those surf events. And then through the winter, obviously, winter is, I don't need to explain why we get people in the winter. And then comes summertime. Summertime is our most dependable windy season. And a lot of people who participate in wind sports, obviously, their kids are off for the summer. They've got time off. We usually get people coming in for 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time over the summer so that they can enjoy the beautiful windy conditions, which not a lot of other tourism-based, like winter tourism-based places get. So big bonus for Cabarete. We do get good return on investment and rental yields. There can be consistent short and long-term rental, okay? That we have a lot of digital nomads. We do have a lot of retirees in the winter. So if you're looking to get what I call a short long-term rental, you get a lot of snowbirds want to book you solid from November to April. And we do get adventure travelers, of course. So we've got affordable entry prices. We have everything in Cabarete, specifically where we're going to be talking about. You can get at a property, at or around 250. And then we are walkable. Everything in Cabarete, for the most part, is walkable, especially what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is amazing because think about how much you save not having to rent a car while you're on holiday, when you can just walk literally 2 minutes to the nearest supermarket and 5, 6 minutes walk, you're in the middle of town. You're at the bars, you're at the restaurants, you're at the wind sports schools. Like that's it. How easy is that? We've got a lot of rapid infrastructure growth. Cabarete is going through a boom at the moment. We have a lot of development that's happening, and as a secondary piece, some of the infrastructure is coming along with it. Not all of it as fast as we'd like to, but it is actually happening, which is great. And there's some amazing new roads that are being built by the federal government that are going to connect us faster to Santiago, which is going to make it easier for you to get flights here to your new home. All right, we have a wonderful safe and welcoming community. Again, we have this nice, the community of people that know each other. Once you spend enough time here, you're going to walk down the street and you're going to be able to say hello to people, and people are going to know who you are and they're going to be looking out for you. Again, I've lived here 26 years. I'm starting my 27th year of living here, and it's me and my girls, and I don't ever feel unsafe here. It's easy access and ownership. Puerto Plata Airport, 20 to 25-minute drive to Cabarete, depending on traffic, our traffic. And there's no restrictions for property owners. for foreigners to own property here in the Dominican Republic. Okay, this country has made it incredibly easy for foreigners to come and invest in their country. So that gets passed on to you in the form of a very simple and easy transaction experience. And then we've got lifestyle and investment appeal. You know, we're a super cool surfer town. We've got international restaurants because the people that live here are international, and so their businesses and our businesses reflect it. You've got rental profitability, you've got tropical living, you've got long-term growth. All the things that you want in a great recipe for investment. All right, moving on. Here we are, main event, Palmeras. So for those of you who know Cabarete, Palmeras is just east of Supermarket Janet's, like 2-minute walking east of Supermarket Janet. Okay, it is the vision of line construction. They have purchased a great swath of property in this area, and they are slowly developing it in small phases, okay, which makes it attainable. It makes it unique because each small little phase has its own personality. And yet this is the render of the beautiful entrance that they're planning to build at the main road. So this, in about a year and a half time, will be your entrance into Palmeras. It will be gated, it will be secure, and welcome to Palmeras. So we are going to get started with Roy and Giselle in a little bit. But here, for those of you who know, this is Cabarete Bay. And where I've got my beautiful big white arrow there, okay, is the entrance to Palmeras. Okay, so here's the curve around here. You can see this is Supermarket Janet. So close. And then a couple minutes more and you're right in the Bay of Cabarete. Palmeras is all down here. If you can see my arrow and my blue dot, okay? Now this Google Earth is a little bit old. However, here's our entrance. Okay, here's our entrance. This is where the townhouses are that we're about to talk about. All right, this in here is Palmeras 2. We had a couple of homes I was going to tell you about, but we sold them. Things are going very quickly. Okay, over here, I'm going to be talking about Palmeras 5, okay, which is going to be Palmeras 5, phase 1. Right next to it is going to be Palmeras 5, phase 2. And then we're going to have a chat about this little place over here called Palmeras 3, which is going to be lots. So this is what we're talking about. We've got townhouses, we've got constructed homes, we've got pre-construction homes, and then we're going to talk about lots. So that's the plan. Let's get going. Okay, Sunset Cabarete. This is our first property that I'm so excited to show you. All right, this is Roy and Giselle's vision. This was their wonderful leap of faith that they have taken because they believe in, you know, creating something amazing both for themselves and for this community. So, Roy, do you want to tell us just or Giselle, like, just tell us a little bit about how you guys became the developers here at Sunset Cabarete?
Absolutely. One moment. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So we, just like Michelle, we came down to visit, then just really fell in love with the people, the culture, the accessibility of everything. We decided that this was going to be our home away from home, if not soon enough, our permanent home. And then we just wanted to share the dream.
Yeah. And just a quick story, guys. I spoke to my wife. We were invested in trying to live the American dream. But obviously we're from New York City and I'm looking at the real estate prices over there. I'm looking at everything that's going on. And I just looked at my wife and I'm like, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to sit on a beach and I want to have a mojito and just relax. And I'm like, let's do that. Let's go ahead and do that. So I started to investigate the Cabarete real estate market, and it's a safe, low risk opportunity. And it helps that I partnered with Line Construction because that brings the safety and that brings the confidence in the project. And I just wanted to make a personal commitment into my own country. I wanted to come in here, lay down roots, and ensure that we establish ourselves here. And I think this is the perfect project to get started with. So, yep, that's basically it. And I hope to see you all here soon.
So wonderful. So here inside of Sunset Cabarete, so this is the very first project. So as you were going to pull in those big, beautiful gates that I showed you on the last slide, Directly to your left here is going to be Sunset Cabarete. There are 6 townhomes total. All right. 1 has already been sold and 5 is accounted for. So we've got apartments. We've got 2, 3, and 4 here that we're going to talk about, as well as we've got number 6. So number 6 is special. 1 we've already sold. So we've got 4 units in here available. The great thing, these are all 3-story units. So this is not necessarily, a property for someone who's aging and can't go up and downstairs. But for those of us who are still very mobile, this is so well located. And from up on the rooftops, we're going to have jacuzzi. I'm going to show you some pictures. But let's come in. As we come in here, all right, this would be the inside of your beautiful townhome. So this is on the ground floor. They're open, they're light filled. Roy and Giselle have made the wonderful choice of flooring all of these units in coralina. For those of you who know what coralina is, it's a natural coral stone. It is beautiful. It is native to the Dominican Republic, and it is timeless. You will never want to replace your coralina floors. So you'll be and I'm so proud of you guys for making that decision, because it's such a quality piece of flooring. And can you tell I love coralina? I love coralina. So here's we've got 200 square meters. So that includes the first floor, the second floor, and the rooftop terrace, which is livable space. Here's like a shot from the other side of the room. You've got open concept living, kitchen and dining areas, main floor laundry, and you got a half bath. So that's all on that first floor. Okay. Then upstairs, we're going to have 2 bedrooms. Each bedroom has its own ensuite bath. Okay, and they're both beautiful. The front bedroom has a lovely little terrace, little Juliet balcony, a little bit bigger than Juliet balcony. You can put a little cafe table out there and be able to spend your mornings there. And up on the 3rd floor is this amazing outdoor living. So people come in sometimes to the parking lot Sunset and go, where's the pool? I'm like, it's on the rooftop. So these amazing units are coming with a jacuzzi. Okay, and there's going to be a pergola. As you can see over here, there is space up here for a little outdoor, say like sink and fridge set up. What does that mean? That means when you're up on your amazing terrace with your jacuzzi, you do not need to go back downstairs for everything. So you can have your drinks up here. You can, and there's also another half bath right behind that door. Okay, so you don't have to go downstairs to go to the bathroom, nothing. You can come up here and you can stay up here for hours very comfortably. And some of the units, not every single one, but just about every single one has a view of the ocean. Some are bigger than others. The one with the best view to the ocean to some other more specific numbers, we have got some incredible incentives for you, and they're going to start here. So there's a couple that are.
All right, guys, hang tight. We have been getting some storms, but hopefully she will be right back with us. So hang tight. If you guys have any questions, you can post them in the chat. I can try to answer them the best of my ability. But just hang tight for 1 minute. She should be back soon. And we apologize for the inconvenience. Does each unit have a rooftop to itself, or is it shared? It's its own rooftop, each unit. So there's 6 units, 1 already sold, but they each have their own rooftop. She's gonna speak about the lots in a minute here, as soon as she can come back, and she will be able to answer that question. Rebecca, thank you for your question there. So hang tight, guys. How far is the Sosua from Cabarete? About 15-20 minutes. We're actually in an apartment right now in Sosua. So Sosua is not very far from Cabarete. Will Palmeras have its own backup generator for the community? Cabarete is famous for losing power daily around supper time. It doesn't, they don't lose power daily, but when you do lose power, there will be a plan for backup power. Whether it's a generator or otherwise, but there will be plans for backup powers in all the complexes. And there she is. Welcome back. There she is.
I am no longer trusting the internet here at the office. I'm hotspotting off my phone now again. So Roy, how far did you get?
I was just answering the questions in the chat.
Oh, beautiful. Wonderful. Okay. All right. Let me get back to our presentation here. One second. That's not the one I want. That's the one I want. Okay. All right. Thank you for your patience, everyone. And Roy and Giselle, I'm so happy that you guys are here to hold up the boat. Okay. All right. And we're back. Okay. So we got to the part where we were about to talk about some fun stuff. So it was like I told you I was going away for a commercial break and you had to wait for the goodies. So here we are. The goodies are back. I know some of you don't even know what commercial breaks are, but I'm guessing most of us, if we're around our age, we still remember. So what we've got, so the currently listed on our website, units 2, 3, and 4 are listed at $250,000. Okay, and unit 6, which is 20% bigger, so 2, 3, and 4 being 200 square meters, unit 6 is 240 square meters. So that one is listed at $280,000. It also has the epic view. You have a clear view to the ocean from your rooftop terrace. It is quite wonderful. So right now, though, we're all heading into the holidays, right? We're all heading into the holidays. We've got, you've got American Thanksgiving coming up. Christmas is not too far behind it. We know that, or at least here in the Dominican Republic, we've been in Christmas since October. But I want everyone to think for 1 second about how many Christmases have you ever gotten what you wanted for Christmas? Like, really? I mean, maybe sometimes we do. But I want you to think for 1 second, like if everyone could just put their hand on their heart for just a second and think about that one thing. And maybe you're here tonight because this might be the thing. And if you think about, all of those Christmas gifts that have probably been forgotten, if you were to choose yourself and if you were to choose stepping into a property this Christmas, you would be creating lifetime memories. This would be a gift that would not stop giving for years and years and years to come. And you will be creating the most amazing memories with you and your family. You will be creating an investment for you and your future. And you'll be able to use it and have all of the fun that you've always wanted to have in the Caribbean, knowing that you owned your own place. So as we come into here, I want you to see this as the incredible incentive that it is. And I really want you to think about what it is that you want to give for yourself moving forward in your future. And what does your Christmas get to look like for you? So on to the fun stuff. So the next 2 townhomes that we sell. So I know we've got 2, 3, and 4, but only 2 are going to get this deal. Okay. They're going to be sold at $230,000. So this is your $20,000 Christmas present from Roy and Giselle and Realtor DR to you. This is an incredible opportunity to get in at a great price that didn't exist as of 10 seconds ago, but it does right now. And as we live moment to moment, this is one of these moments that I would love for you to consider. If you already know, if you already have a curiosity, if you know that maybe you'd like to know more, Paula is going to drop a link. She's going to drop it a couple times in the chat, which is just a link to jump on the phone with me. So I'd love for you to take that opportunity to jump on a call with me. Allow me to answer all of your questions personally. Let me get to know you. Let me find out about what it is that's really important to you so we can see if these properties are a great fit for you. Okay? All right. So this is not going to be around forever. You know that. There gets to be some urgency here. So this Christmas present to yourself, you get to decide it before December 5th. So this offer, 2 townhomes out of 3, okay, are available for $230,000. Once we sell 2 of them, the price is going to go back up to $250,000. Okay. So let's show you a few more numbers. They're not necessarily discount numbers, but these are the ones that, that make your parents feel good or your accountant feel good. For those of you who love numbers, here you go. Welcome. Those of you that don't worry, keep breathing. We'll be through this page in a little bit, but this is our incredible investor summary. I always have to give kudos to our CEO, Tomas, who sets up this amazing program that allows us to look like, mathematical rock stars. But this is something that we can offer you from Realtor DR that you might not get elsewhere. So here what you can see is, let me explain here real quick. Over here on this side, okay, you're going to see the purchase price, $230,000. All right, you do have closing costs, and we want you to know what they are because we want you to be going into buying a property with all the information that you need. No surprises at the end. No, what? We got a closing cost. What? Yes. Okay. Transfer tax, legal, in order to transfer the title from Roy and Giselle over to you is going to cost you about 3% of the purchase price. So it's going to work out to be $6,900. And then you're probably going to have legal fees. They are about 1%. It depends on your lawyer. So we give you an estimate. Okay. And then I figure it's probably, you're going to have to spend at least $25,000 to complete your unit. So that means to furnish it and to, to put all the white goods in. So that's your air conditioning units, your washer and dryer, etc. Okay. Now you may want to spend more than that. If you do, I can redo this for you with a bigger number and then you can see. So here it tells you exactly how much cash you're going to need to get into this baby. All right. But this number up here, this is going to be your annual yield. And how do we get there? Well, if you're not going to be living in it full time and you're planning to rent it out, we're going to give you an idea. It's not exact, but we're going to give you an idea of what it looks like if you rent your property out and what it could do. So I guesstimate, based on my knowledge here, that in high season, you could get up to 170 a night for your wonderful townhouse. All right. And then in low season, we do have low seasons. You're gonna offer that for a lot less because there's going to be, a lot fewer tourists here during part of the year. We tend to here on the North Coast average occupancy is somewhere around 60%. That can be better for your unit. It can be less. It will depend on how long you've been in the market, how many great 5-star reviews you have, et cetera, et cetera. You know how that Airbnb game works, right? And then here's a list of your expenses estimated. So we're looking at maybe about $150 a month in HOA fees. Okay, that's going to cover your security. It's going to cover your common ground maintenance. It's going to cover your garbage removal. Okay, it's going to, and it looks like we're going to hopefully be putting in a backup power generator. So that's going to be involved in that also. Okay. And down here, property tax is going to be about 51. Property tax here, there's an exemption rate that's approximately 170,000 US dollars. So you pay 1% of the difference between the value of your property and that $170,000. So that's where that number comes in. That's not so bad per month. Your electricity, I estimate anywhere 150. Again, it's going to depend on how cold you like it. If you're running your ACs 24/7, it might be higher than that. If you prefer ceiling fans and open windows, bless your heart, and it'll be less. All right. And then in our wonderful thing, we do add in a repair fund. Things get broken. You do have to take care of them. And also this includes a fee for a property manager. Okay. All right. It's an estimated fee as well. So this gives you an idea. So you come over here to this wonderful little graph and you see, all right, this is what it looks like when I get to my property here. Down here, you get to play with the sensitivity of those numbers that I popped in. So you can play with the occupancy and you can play with the average nightly rate. So say you want to really drop it low, all right? And then, so this is what I'm going to make if I drop it. This is what I'm going to make up at the top end. So it allows you that opportunity to visualize your play financially on your income, depending on how many people are there and your nightly rate. Okay. And then over here, we get into like the 5-year overview. This is coming to you tomorrow. Hang on, I didn't mean to go there yet. This is all coming to you tomorrow. So you don't have to stress about screenshotting if you don't want to. If you do, have at it. But I'm going to be sending this to you tomorrow morning along with the replay. So you're getting all this, so don't freak out and feel like you have to write it all down. Okay. So this is what it looks like. We sold unit 1. It was our intro special, $220. Okay, you missed it. Hi, but that's okay. Best time to buy real estate was yesterday. The next best time is right now. And so 2, 3, and 4 that were $250 are now $230. Number 6 is hanging at its OG price, which is $280. Okay, again, because you're getting 40, you're getting 20% more, 40 square meters more, which is almost like another hotel room of space, and you get that amazing view from your rooftop. So this is what we're looking at. At the moment, we are almost finished with doors and windows. So the doors and windows are going on. The first unit is going to be fully complete at the end of this year, and the rest are going to follow shortly behind it. So odds are, if you're really looking to get into one of these townhouses because you're super excited, it's going to be $5,000 down initially when you place your offer. Then we're going to have 30 days, okay, to organize with your lawyer. We get all the documents in order. We create your promise of sale, all right? And then at the moment, it's 50%. And then once the doors and windows are complete, another 20. However, at this stage of construction, because it's not at the beginning, we are almost at the end, actually. So those numbers, those two columns are probably going to be together if you were to step in today and take the full 30 days before we sign the promise of sale. Does that make sense? And then the construction will continue. And when they deliver your keys, you will pay the last 25%. Right now, the titles are currently being separated. So the mother title is all good. The titles are currently being what we call deslinded, and they're in the process. They should be done anytime now. But just in case, if the title isn't completely separated, because sometimes things in this country take a little bit longer than we'd like them to, then you will leave this amount of money in the escrow account of your lawyer until your title is ready. And when your title is ready, that last part will go over to our wonderful visionaries, Roy and Giselle, but not until everything is all tied up in a wonderful little bow. Okay, so that is our Sunset Cabarete townhomes. We're going to move on to the next phase. So Roy and Giselle, thank you so much. Please don't go anywhere just in case my internet goes funky, and I'll need you to jump in for me. Yeah. And if there's anyone has any specific questions for Roy and Giselle, please drop them right now in the chat, because they're going to have a little bit of space and grace to answer those for you directly. Okay. All right. So Palmeras, as I was telling you, so our beautiful Sunset Cabarete right at the entrance, super close to everything, close to the ocean. As we move into the neighborhood, we're going to come up on our next part, which is Palmeras 5, phase 1. Here we go. So we've got 3-bedroom, single-family villas. They're 3 beds, 2.5 bath, 145 square meters of construction, 200-meter square lot. Okay, it's private yard. You got your own private little pool. It's not huge. It's just enough. It's exactly what you need when you're on holiday. And it's exactly what you'd want if you were on vacation and wanted to rent and have a house and not, be bothered by, other people on the other side of your wall. You've got 2 covered parking spots. This is a beautiful little carport, and there is a fob activated security gate in addition to the big one that's going to be at the front when it's complete. But for now, you've got your own security controlled gate with your own control, and you've got a large communal cistern. These homes are $285,000. So I want to give you guys a little bit of reference here. One, there is not a lot of single family homes available for sale in Cabarete. Currently, we've got these homes here. The other neighborhoods that are in the Bay of Cabarete have nothing available. Nothing. And then on the other side of Cabarete, there is another development that also has homes, but that's it. At $285,000, this is the best priced 3-bedroom home in all of Cabarete for a brand new home being built, being delivered. So it's a good thing. If you've been looking to get in, this is it. So here you can get a little sense. So these are the houses. We've got this one here with the red arrow. We've got this one here in the corner, and then we've got this one here in the middle. The other 3 are already sold. Okay, you can see, look at your distance to the water. You are so close to the beach. You are so close to the beach. On the other side of the road, prices will triple. So literally 200 meters away, prices will triple. But you can't even get a house on the other side of the road. So that's what makes this so incredible and this such a great opportunity. So we've got a modern minimalist design and fixtures. Everything is clean, it's neat. All of the doors and cabinetry are made from a wood called yakitiba, which is a natural hardwood here in the Dominican Republic. It is lovely, sort of blondish wood, a little bit of orange undertones. It's really, really nice. All of the doors in this home are solid wood, great quality. The windows are wonderful. The swimming pool tiled, the whole thing is tiled. It might be small, but you've got that added bit of luxury in having a fully tiled swimming pool. Let's move on to the numbers, because these houses are money. And right now, you're on the precipice of high season. So for those of you who are considering moving into this market, now is an amazing time. So it's not just like Christmas present for you, but it's Christmas when it comes to the return on your investment. Because if you step in now, these houses are done. They are done, ready to go. You would literally have to come in, decorate it, and you could be on the market for Christmas. And let me tell you, Christmas in Cabarete is off the charts. We have to prepare. We go from, from our low season rate, like, maybe 30% occupancy, to boom, 110 over Christmas. It's amazing. And it's a great time. And we stay fairly full most of the winter until about a week or two after Easter here. So if you look at these numbers, you have that 14% annual yield. This is what it's going to cost to get into. Okay, because I estimate that it's going to be about 35,000. You got more stuff to do here. You got 3 bedrooms versus the townhouses. Okay, so it's going to be around there. And again, I estimate these numbers. You're going to see for the next houses, like, you can play with these numbers. And if you want me to play with them for you, we can absolutely do that. Conservative, but you can also get that here in this part of the chart. So again, you're going to get all of this. We don't need to go through all the numbers for this house. You can see it here. The ones that matter are up here. All right. And you're going to get this in your inbox in the morning. So next door, right next door. If we look back here, hang on, I'm going to come and bring you back here to this picture right here. So this is Palmeras 5 Phase 1. Right behind it is going to be Palmeras 5 Phase 2. So let's get into it. Palmeras 5 Residences Phase 2. What makes these awesome? Single story homes. There's a lot of people who are getting a little bit older, maybe not you yourself. However, maybe you've got some aging parents. We have a lot of people who are looking for homes. They themselves can still climb lots of stairs, but we got some aging parents who are not so great. And we've got a lot of people, say, my age, early 50s, going, I'm going to be retiring and this is my investment and I'm going to be 65, 70 at some point. And so a house like this, single story home, can be a great choice and good forethought for yourself and your family. These are lovely, modern, flat roof homes. You can see the thoughtfulness, the height of the ceilings, how it's going to feel spacious. Okay, and again, you're just nestled right off that main road. This over here is what the entrance is going to look like. So you're going to be coming in. You're going to see we've got 4 houses only in this little phase. So again, Palmeras is going to be little phases of really unique little properties. You've got 4 homes in here. That's it. So you're going to be able to know who your neighbors are. You're all going to be able to work together. You've got 135 square meters of construction. Okay, it's going to include your dedicated parking, private pool, and you're going to have a nice spacious terrace, okay, for relaxing. And it's been designed with attention to detail. Now, something I can tell you about Leiris and about line construction is that when you're stepping into a home from plan, and again, if you got to step in before January, if you'd like to have some customization. If you don't change major structural parts inside of the home, he is open to making changes, having your kitchen layout be different. If you'd like to, we've had some clients ask us to add bathrooms. Now that will be an additional cost. But if that's what you want, you can get it. You can create your dream within this phase 2 plan, and it can be all yours exactly the way you want it. Now, we are planning to start building these in January. So that's why I'm saying, if you're interested, now is the time to step in, to engage, and to create any sort of changes that you might want in that floor plan layout, because building is starting in January. So again, here's a couple of views of the back. There's some different views of the pool here, of the different house types, because there's a couple, that it's a variation on the theme, all 4 houses actually. Here's some of the floor plan layouts. Again, this is going to be landing inside of your inbox, so you're going to get it all. Okay, but you can see how, the kitchen layout here is a little bit different from this kitchen layout. There's a couple of different options for house number 2. This is house number 1. Again, same thing. You see a wraparound kitchen with a peninsula here instead of the island. Again, you can change it if you'd like. I had one client want to add in a full 3rd bathroom instead of just the half bath. Totally doable. A little extra cost, but you get it exactly the way you'd like it. Again, here's the sort of layout of the 4 of them together. So obviously you're coming in here from the main road. This is your access point. Again, you're going to have a fob security control here. There's also going to be security at the front gate. Okay, this is what this looks like. Here's our payment profile during construction. Our estimated start is January 2026. Again, you can step in ahead of time. Okay, we can do the reservation and complete the promise of sale. So Larry has told me that he said he could get it done earlier. I said, give us a little bit more time to make sure that we do land on time. So we've estimated the end of October 2026 for completion. So you could step in this holiday season, and by the time we're coming around to Thanksgiving next year, you're in your home. You're in your home in an affordable neighborhood in Cabarete. This is $280,000 for these pre-construction homes. It's $5,000 less than the ones that are already finished next door. What could that $5,000 go to? This is an incredible opportunity. This doesn't exist elsewhere in Cabarete. On the other side of the beach, in the main part of the bay, we are building luxury condos that 1 bedroom start at $500,000 plus. This is a 3-bed, 2.5 bath, single story, beautiful modern family home at $280,000. This is what you deserve. You deserve this dream. So if we look here at our numbers, oh, hang on, go back here, not this one, not those numbers, these numbers. This is what it looks like. 5,000 down just to pick which house you want. Those of you who already know which one you want, come and get it. We put 5,000 down and then we start working on the legal paperwork. Okay, when we complete that and we all get to come in and sign, you're gonna put in another $79,000. Okay, that's gonna complete our 30% in 30 days. And then we're gonna have $140,000 during the course of construction. So you get to decide that. And then the final 20% at the end. So there is some flexibility during the course of construction, how those payments get to work. If it's once a month, if it's every 2 weeks, if you want it every 2 months. There's some flexibility and some play in those payments during the course of construction, which I can happily work with you on. This is what you'd be looking at. This is what we're working with once it's finished. What does that look like? It looks like this. So again, I played with these numbers. I have these numbers actually less than the other one, but again, this is what you can see when you shift your numbers around and get a different perspective based on whether you feel more conservative or if you're feeling more optimistic. Okay, but again, 13.8%, what bank account putting your money in are you getting 13.8% on right now? I know I don't even have to answer that question. Okay. And of course, like I promised you, but wait, there's more. So I work with Leuris and we came up with a wonderful incentive. So this is for all of Line. So not necessarily Sunset Cabarete, you're getting your $20,000 Christmas present from Sunset Cabarete. But if say one of these houses or you want the finished house ready to go for high season, Leuris is offering you, he wants you to come here. He wants you, and I do too. I want you to come. I want you to see. I want you to walk the property. I want you to touch and feel, and be in the Line offices. Come here to the Realtor DR offices. And if you do that and you step in, Leuris is offering you a fly and buy program. If you come see it for yourself, meet the people behind the project, he is going to give you up to $2,000 towards your flights when you purchase your property, when you gift yourself the dream that you deserve. So what an amazing incentive. Okay, but wait, I'm not done yet. We've got one more to go through before we jump into Q&A. Okay, the last bit, Palmeras 3. For those of you who really, really and truly want to take it from the ground up, this is your answer. This is Palmeras 3, and we're going to be talking about lots. Lots that you can afford to step into even before Christmas. This is where we're working with. So here, as you guys could see, this is Palmeras 2. Over here is the townhouses. Across the street over there, I can't take my arrow, is Palmeras 5 and Palmeras 5 Phase 2. As you come around this beautiful corner, this is Palmeras 3. This beautiful, just sort of gated area. It's got this beautiful winding road through it. It's lovely. It's quiet. It borders on the lagoon. And there are lots available for sale here, starting at $54,000 for a 290 square meter lot, not feet, meters. And they go up to about 330 for the largest lot, and that's around $65,000. Now you can get into this lot and say maybe you can't build for a year. That's okay. You can be making the plans, you can be working with architects, you can be putting the money aside that you need to. So if this is the way that you can begin your dream, that's maybe a little bit more affordable to you, this could be it. Prime location, you've got freedom to build, you got investment opportunity because we've already talked about all the good reasons why Cabarete is a great place to invest in, and you're going to have a secure and tranquil lifestyle. Inside of the Palmeras community, not only do we have the beautiful gate, but you're going to have secure backup power. Okay, you're going to have backup power. We worked really hard on that one. And you're also going to get a clubhouse. There's going to be a community clubhouse. Now, right now, we don't know exactly what's going to be in the clubhouse because it's still being hotly debated. So if you know what you want in a clubhouse, please drop it in the chat, like some things you really want to have in a clubhouse, because it's the powers that be are still deciding. So we have some influence right now. But there is going to be a clubhouse area where all the community members can use. There's talk of like a basketball court, a larger swimming pool, since some of these houses are going to have smaller lots with maybe smaller pools. Maybe you want a bigger one, could be a yoga space, it could be a gym. So drop in the chat what you would love to see in a community center, because there will be a clubhouse specifically for Palmeras owners that's going to be available. I'll give you a couple more shots in here. So in here, you can see this is a layout of the lots. I've got all the lots listed for you. They're all online at realtordr.com. I'm going to show them to you in a slide. But can you see over here? This is our beautiful lagoon. It is a wonder of nature, and it is one of the things that helps us have our unique ecosystem here in Cabarete with all of the wind and all of the other things. And behind that are beautiful mountains. Again, just another shot showing you your proximity to the water. 54,000. You're going to have a lot that you can build on in the next 1 to 3 or 4 years. And then it's yours. There are some little parameters inside of the neighborhood as to some constraints to keep the neighborhood harmonious. You will not be able to paint your house like flaming orange. It's not happening. It's going to be mostly white. However, you can build up to 2 stories. And then based on, as long as you stay a little bit away from the sides, if you can dream it, find someone to build it, you can do it. You can build with line if you'd like to, or if you want to bring in another constructor, you can do that too. So you have that option. Here are some of the lists of some of the lots. All right. And again, those are all online and you're going to get all of this. Now, there are some other interesting opportunities here with Palmeras. So I know we're getting close to the end of our hour, so I'm going to go quick. We've got some villa financing. So if you need some assistance, we can work with Lauris. This would be more for villas that are already done. Okay. And or if you needed some assistance during the build of your house, that is also possible. Again, I want you to come down. We're going to do the fly and by. We're going to have those conversations directly inside of the line offices, and we are going to get you your lot in your house. And then lot financing. Say, hey, this is in the cards, but guess what? I've got X amount on my credit card right now. Let's do it. You could get the lot with 30% down, maximum 5 years to pay it off. a little bit higher interest rate because they'd like you to move a little bit more on the lots, a little bit faster. So there's a little incentive there to pay it off sooner, but you still have that space and grace. So if you're looking at that $54,000 lot, you have the possibility of taking some financing, getting some breathing room, getting it done, working through your vision, and then building your house. And we've come to my favorite time of the evening, which is our question and answer period. Oh my goodness. I have had the chat off. So now we get to jump in here. And we also, so it looks like the Q&A, it does not have a lot going on, but Ed, I'm going to answer this question first because then we'll go back through the chat. Does the DR have any leasehold or fee simple clauses? Not exactly. So financing and things like that and leasing doesn't really work the same as it does back home. So financing here will look more something like the banks will finance up to 70% of a property at their assessed value. So you still got to come up with that 30%. The best rate they're going to give you right now, they will amortize for 20 plus years, but they're only going to lock in 5. Right now, the best rate is around 9%. So hopefully that answers some of that. Now let's go back through our fantastic chat here and see what's going on. I'm going to stop my share so we can come back into hello, full vision. Okay, we've got, so I see you've been answering some questions in there. Bill is being, and I think I've lost anything in the chat that happened before 8:30. So is the beach within walking distance, Pamela? Yes, it is. It is absolutely within walking distance. You are just a couple minutes. You are across the road and you kind of got to go like a little bit one way and a little bit the other way in order to hit the sand. Right across the street, there's another apartment complex. So you are close, baby. You are really close. When will the townhouses be ready for occupancy? Great question. I'm guessing, did we answer that one already, right? If not, the first one is going to be ready for occupancy in early January, and the rest should be along shortly behind that within 30 to 60 days. So you're still looking at...
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so we're still looking at catching some of the tail end of high season there. So if you are ready to jump in, let us know and we can see what we can do about pushing some of those a little bit faster, maybe. We'll have to talk to Laodies about that one. Comfortour. No, Eve, we do not have Comfortour. Comfortour projects tend to be projects that are a lot bigger. It's an incredibly difficult process to apply for, and you need to retain a certain amount of your property for rental. That's not being rented by individual owners. So Comfortour is not always applicable for everyone and not always worthwhile for all developers to do and all developments to latch onto. So this one, unfortunately, no, does not have Comfortour. Okay, Tabitha was asking, what is that in square feet? Well, okay, so more or less you do like times 10 and add a little bit. So the townhouses, for example, that are around 200 square meters, I think it's about 2,200 square feet. Somewhere around there, something like that. So timeline. So Todd, which units are you talking about? Are we talking about the houses like Palmeras 5 phase 2, or were you talking about the townhouses? Let me know in the chat. Palmeras 5 phase 2, again, they're going to be starting in January and are estimated to finish the end of October. And the townhouses, again, the one that's already been spoken for, number 1, is going to be ready for occupancy in January, and the rest will follow behind. I would say the latest would be, end of February, March, at the latest for all of them to be completed. Okay. So time frame to start construction on your lot. Currently, you have up to 4 years to get started on construction. So you currently have up to 4 years to get started on your construction. If for some reason in Palmeras 3, after the 4 years from now, that there still are some lots that haven't been scooped up, Line is going to continue to make sure that the project is completed, so you won't be left with random lots and looking like a derelict neighborhood. He will continue to build. He will build houses on those lots and sell them. Because not everyone is a visionary. Not everyone can see the end product and can buy from a lot and build. And that's not always in everybody's wheelhouse. So that's what's going to happen with Palmeras 3, with those lots. You buy in, you got about 4 years to build. And then after that 45 years, Line will step in and they will just build and sell the homes on any lots if they are left, which I don't think they will be. We've got single story home, is there an HOA and who does your property upkeep? Okay, great questions. So we are estimating here in Palmeras, okay, again, still there's going to be some things that need to be nailed down, but we're estimating around $150 a month for your HOA fees. Okay, the unknown factors, we need to work out some of the details about the backup power. And once those details are worked out, that number will be a little bit clearer. And as far as your property upkeep, we have a ton of wonderful property managers here in the area. There are some people right here inside of Realtor DR that have property management business as a side hustle. I have one. There's a couple other people in our office that do. There's a lot of people around that do a great job of maintaining properties, because many people that buy here are just like you. They're not planning to move here full time, at least not yet, and they want their place to make money. And someone's got to handle that, because if you're in New York or Florida or Oregon, don't worry. We've got great property managers here. I'll happily refer you to several of them. You can interview them and you find the person who makes the best fit for you. Okay, let's see, what do we got? Let's see. To everyone, I'm just making sure that everybody's getting all of the things. Okay, so then we've got here, what else do we have? We have, do they all come with air conditioning? No. So in here, in all of the properties, white goods are not included. So white goods refer to air conditioning unit, your refrigerator, your washer dryer. Why do some people choose that option? One, it keeps the initial sales price down. And two, oftentimes if you're trying to buy for a project, so say for example, we're finishing the townhomes, for example, and we go out and we buy all of the AC units in the fridge and all the things, and then it takes us maybe 6 months to finish selling that last unit. We've lost 6 months of warranty, because the warranty on the white goods comes from the manufacturer of that white good, not us, not the developer. And it's only good, most of them, for like a year. So it is in your best interest to buy the moment you're ready to install. And you get the option of getting in the property at a great price without those white goods. So that explains that, I hope, enough for you. What else do we have? When do we expect construction to be finished? Let's see, what else do we have, team? Yep, I'm sending stuff after the presentation.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
somebody had a question about
Yep.
mosquiteros or mosquito on the windows and doors.
Yeah, some will and some won't. And that would be a great thing for us to talk about when we get on a call together. Okay, so again, Paula is going to drop in the chat the link. It's right there as well already at 9:02. Thanks, Paula. Actually, right there.
About that, Michelle, I think it's
Yeah.
only going to host and panelists. So you need to give us access to send to everyone. I'm
I
not
think
able.
I did
Yeah.
now. I think it was, but I think when I got booted out, right now attendees can
Yep.
chat. with
Yeah.
everybody.
Now I can. Yeah. Okay. And Paola, you have to send it to everyone.
Hang on, I'll
So
drop it here too, because I think everyone can see me. Yeah. I think mine went to everyone.
there we go.
Yeah. For some reason, I'm not sure, because it's on everyone. Oh, well. C'est la vie, I dropped it in there. We're good to go. Okay, is it in a flood zone? No, we're not in a flood zone. There can be, we had an exceptional amount of rain last year. My house flooded for the first time in 10 years, and it's never flooded before. So that was it was an exceptional moment last year. So far at this point in time in rainy season, we're doing all right. There's been some rain. We got a little bit of rain last night, but it's not been too bad. However, most of the time with most of these projects now, people are building the base and the caliche up so that things run off and away from your home. However, that's a great conversation for us to have with Laudies, especially if you're planning to build. Pets. Great question, Rebecca. So pets are going to be allowed, cats and dogs, no farm animals. So no chickens, no horses, none of that stuff. Most of the homes don't provide for that and don't have enough yard space. So we've got small dogs, obviously if you're going to have a Great Dane, it's going to be a conversation that we're going to have, but most standard sized dogs are welcome, but mostly for owners. Okay, we're going to try to limit the number of pets for renters. That's coming down in some of the HOA rules that we've been developing. And, you know, general common sense rules, like no hanging out your laundry off your balcony. Like no one wants to see your undies proud and on display. We're going to keep that either in the backyard or we're going to keep it in the dryer, but we're not going to be displaying it at the front of the houses, things like that. But pets are included in that. People need to pick up after their pets. And if their pet becomes unruly and is one of the ones that barks at 2 a.m, you're probably going to have a chat about that, because we want to make sure that this is a, you know, neighborhood. A lot of things are relatively close together, and we want it to be a place where people can come, live, relax, sleep, vacation. So all of the rules, the HOA rules that are coming down the pipe, are all going to be to create a neighborhood that is exactly like that. All right, we got some good questions about hurricanes. Great question, Rebecca. So hurricanes, we are very blessed here on the north coast of the Dominican Republic, especially. And I will tell you why. I'll tell you why, because we have some of the largest mountain peaks in the Caribbean. We have our beautiful Pico Duarte, which is in the center of the island, but a little bit on the northern end. And it is a peak of over 3,000 meters, which is over 10,000 feet. Those mountain ranges are constantly sending pressure systems down off of them, which tend to toggle any storms headed straight for us just far enough away. We might get wet, we might get messy. In the 26 years that I have lived here, I have never experienced anything more than, I want to say, maybe category 2 that we had when we had Hurricane Maria pass by, and she was big. You remember, she devastated Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico takes one for the team for the North Coast all the time because it's the direct path at us. We are blessed. Hurricanes, in my experience, have not been an issue here. It's something you always prepare for, but we have never had any significant damage at all from any major storm up here on the North Coast. I will not speak for the south of the island. It's a different story. But up here on the North Coast, we are blessed. ATVs on the property, it's going to depend on how noisy that they are. They do want to limit motorcycles and loud, noisy, you know, things. So if your ATV is got its muffler on and it's under control, I can't see it being a problem. However, if it's loud and noisy and you know what I mean, if I would come out of my house at midnight because you drove past my bedroom, woke me up, no. Common sense rules apply on those ones. Expenses are paid in pesos or dollars. That is yet to be for properties generally here. Most of the time we take care of it in dollars because it's a more stable currency. So you will be moving dollars. We have amazing lawyers that we work with here on the North Coast that we're happy to recommend you a couple of different ones. I've done another previous webinar with another lawyer, so I recommend you check that out. But most of them have very safe escrow accounts in the United States, which is going to make it really easy for all of you to move money. Because moving here, you can move money into the Dominican Republic. It's just a little bit more complicated. It's a little more pain in the butt. And we want to make your transactions smooth and easy. And our amazing lawyers that we work with here with escrow accounts in the US make it very, very easy for you to move money and very safe. Can a golf cart get you to the beach? Sure can. Absolutely it can. You are not far, and you can absolutely do that. You can't get onto the beach with the golf cart though. Okay. But you can absolutely get yourself to the beach on the golf cart. You can absolutely purchase your property with an LLC. There's a question there. I'm going to recommend that everyone have that discussion with their lawyer as to the benefits and the risks of purchasing as a physical person and purchasing it as an LLC. If you're a big group of people, all right, it makes much more sense to purchase in an LLC. So say your whole family is getting into it and you're all buying together. The way that inheritance laws work here, it's in your best interest to be in an LLC. It makes life easier. But there's ongoing upkeep through the year accounting wise, and you're in a different tax threshold as an LLC versus being a single person. So again, that is a great discussion to have with your lawyer. There are risks and there are pluses and minuses to both of them, and you're just going to have to see which one works best for you. Okay, yes, SRL is the version of LLC that you're thinking of. Any commercial places. At the moment, there's no commercial spaces planned inside of Palmeras. It doesn't mean one might not pop up in the clubhouse, depending on what's going in there. Did I get any suggestions from you guys as to what you want in a clubhouse inside of Palmeras when you buy your house? Tell me if there's anything out. Okay, so we've got a casino to be shut down and turned into villas in the future. The casino is for sale. We do have it listed on our website, so if you're interested in it, let us know. And that is wholly going to depend upon the person who purchases it. We almost had it sorted, and the person who's interested in it wanted to build a lovely, boutique hotel, keeping the casino on the bottom floor. That was their plan. That didn't come to fruition. So again, it's really going to depend. The casino is not functional right now, so it's not making any noise. There's no issues at all with the casino currently. But again, it is for sale. So that is a tiny little unknown we have there. But most things here in Cabarete are now moving in a very upward, higher end direction, just to give you that a bit of experience. Let's see, what do we got? Clubhouse with food. Okay, I'm going to pass that along. Gym. Okay, cool. Hear that? Roy is on the clubhouse planning team. So
I want a basketball court.
this is your moment of influence. Is there just the 1%? So that's a 1% property tax that gets paid to the government. The other taxes, like I explained earlier, you've got your one-time title transfer tax. That's 3% of the purchase price of the property. Okay. And then you're going to have 1% of the difference between 170 and let's work with you're stepping into a townhouse at Sunset Cabarete at 230. You are going to pay the difference. So you're going to pay 1% of about $60,000 per year. Okay. So it's going to work out to be about $600 a year in property taxes. And that's called your EP. And you're going to want to take care of that. Okay. Yes, the 3%, your lawyer fee is going to be usually 1% of the transaction costs. Okay. And their work on transferring your title is part of that. So for them to draw up your promise of sale contract, to do the due diligence for the property. So they're going to go in and your lawyer is going to look at Roy and Gigi's title and he's going to send it off and do the checks and make sure that it's able to be sold. That's what your lawyer does. That's what you're paying them for. And they're going to be the ones who are going to do the title transfer for you. So that's usually included in the 1% legal fee. And then the 3%, again, the title transfer tax is to the government. Okay. It's easy to get house insurance in the DR. We have a number of amazing insurance providers here. There's a couple that I personally recommend and most people here in the office recommend as well. One of them is my insurance agent. The other one is a great friend and client and insurance agent to the other half of the office. So we'll be able to set you up with that, not a problem. Okay, so aside from purchases, how can we join the team? Are you looking to move down? You want to come and join this team here at Realtor DR? Wonderful. Let's book a call with me. And will there be hurricane windows and doors? So again, because you're not going to be, experiencing, Category 5 hurricane winds and the debris that's coming in here with that, there's not necessarily hurricane doors and windows. They're going to be very high quality doors and windows. The doors are solid wood. Okay. And the windows are of a very good construction. I cannot say that they're hurricane proof, but I will go and check on that for you and see what specifications I could give you on the qualities of the windows. Okay. But honestly here, I've 26 years, I've never needed it. Never needed it. Okay. What else do we have? Cash, bank purchases, or cash only. So again, we got a couple ways to go here. Banks, again, you've got the 70-30. So banks will finance up to 70% of their assessed value of a property. And that's mostly on homes that are more than 90% finished. So you wouldn't be able to, for example, get financing from a bank on a lot or say like Palmeras 5 phase 2 of those pre-construction houses. That won't work. What does work is either all cash or you work with our amazing developers, you put together a plan you put it forth and see if they'll go for doing a little bit of owner-based financing. Laurice has offered to do a little bit of that on some of his sales. So again, if you need assistance, let's have a conversation. Let's put an offer on paper and let's get to work and find a way to get you into that house. Okay. Let's see. Is home insurance mandatory? If you are financed through the bank, yes. If you are not financed by the bank, it is up to you. Now, the good thing here is that most of these homes are made of solid concrete with the occasional one that's got a pitched roof. And if, for example, God forbid, there's something like a fire, you will lose contents, but you will not lose your home structure because of concrete. I know. I think California probably wishes they had more concrete, more like they were the DR. So yeah. Anybody else got any other questions? I know it's already 9:17 and we're getting late here. This has been a wonderful hour. I hope that you've all enjoyed this and that you've got some great information. And I really hope that you are all considering what your dream is and that you deserve that dream. And if there's a way that that dream fits into anything that we've shown you tonight, we would love to make it happen for you. So please reach out. We'll be sending you some more information tomorrow. Again, the replay and all of the slides that you were shown tonight, as well as book that call. If you came through this webinar from one of my fellow amazing teammates here, send them a message tonight and just say, hey, let's talk this week. Same thing for me. For those of you who I was able to call and speak with, I know I saw Todd on here earlier. I spoke with him. I know Steve, my other client, was on here earlier. Let's talk. Let's figure out how we get you to have the best Christmas ever because you're making your own dream come true. So thank you. Oh, hi, Pierre. So wonderful to see you. All right. Have a blessed, wonderful night, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your engaging, incredible questions. And I am looking so forward to the conversations that I'm going to have with some of you. And I can't wait for you to all become my neighbor. All right. So on behalf of Roy and Giselle and I, have a great time and we'll talk very, very soon. Good night. Replay's coming tomorrow, Joelle. Replay's coming tomorrow. Keep your eye out in your inbox. All right. Good night, everyone. Oh, did we have another question? Did you just want to say hi? Don't know. Hi, Ed. Hi, Lance. You got your hands up. I saw you before.
No questions from us.
No questions from us. All right. Ed, Lance, send me a message. We'll chat tomorrow. Good night, everyone.